Well, real quick off the bat, we want you to know the event we're going to be talking about here is just for first responders and their families.
We wanted to preview it, though, for those who are eligible, but also discuss the overall importance of support.
And Matt Manhart is the president of the Omaha Police Welfare and Benefits Association. Good to see you, Matt.
Welcome.
Thanks for swinging by this morning. So it's this Wednesday. So who are you bringing in to speak at this event?
Dr. Gil Martin is coming in to talk to the first responders, their families. It's something that we believe is really, really important. He's going to basically kind of talk to us about how to deal with a lot of the stresses that we encounter in our jobs, something that we don't really have a whole lot of training given to us.
What will he discuss specifically? It's hard to see here because the print was so small, but he's got a list of topics that I know he wants to touch on. What are a few of them?
The main one that basically is going to be kind of most like emotional survivalship for first responders. It's going to be how to deal with post-traumatic stress syndrome, hypervigilance, that kind of stuff. Those topics are pretty important, and again, those are things that no matter what, you can't really train for it. It's something that needs to be sat down and discussed and have a group of people and go over it.
Yeah, why talk about these emotional issues? I've got a lot of friends who are first responders as well, and they seem to be fine, but I guess there needs to be some sort of emotional outlet. I guess, why do you do this?
Well, I agree. First of all, there's the reason why we do this, because there is not a lot of training out there for us to attend or to get. We turn to either our coworkers or our families, and a lot of times our families don't know how to deal with it either. So there are times where we come home and maybe I don't feel like discussing it with my wife because I don't think she'll be able to understand, and so I pin that stuff up, or maybe I suck it up, for lack of a better term, and I decide that I'm just going to go ahead and tough it out and just deal with it internally.
Yeah, and that builds up.
It does build up, yeah. And it's something, like I said, a lot of people say, well, that's what you signed up for. Well, it is truly what we signed up for, but no matter all the training I go through the academy and everything like that, you can't prepare yourself to see some of the things that first responders see.
Yeah.
And the stress of it. My nephew is a firefighter and a paramedic. Even if it's just if somebody in cardiac arrest and trying to keep that person alive and get them to the hospital. I mean, it's those events on a daily basis that take a toll. But as you said, you feel this obligation to just suck it up. So how do you get people to let their guard down so they can receive Dr. Gil Martin's message and get the most out of it?
I agree. And I think the thing is I think there's a lot of first responders out there that want to talk to people, and believe it or not, the response to this program has been overwhelming, and so clearly shows that there are a lot of first responders out there that want to attend this so that they can open up and talk. Now they just got to find the right person or the right avenue to talk about stuff.
Yeah, like we said, this is for first responders only on Wednesday night, but what can our viewers out there who are watching this, what can we as the public do to support first responders? Is there something we can do?
Well, I think the biggest thing that you turn around and do is anytime you talk to somebody, whether you run into them at a convenience store getting a cup of coffee, and they recognize that you're in law enforcement or that you are in a first responder's role. And when people come up and just say, hey, I appreciate what you do, thanks a lot for what you do, or thank you, or something like that, that goes a long way with us. I mean, it really means a lot to us to know that the community supports us. Because usually, a lot of times, you always end up hearing the negative stuff about things, and we like hearing the positive.
Well, that's a good point, because I have done that before, gone up to somebody in law enforcement or a first responder and said something. You don't know if you're bothering them. Like, I don't want to bother this guy, but I want to let them know they're doing a good job. So that's appreciated, though, huh?
It is, and the thing is obviously, clearly, if they're on a traffic stop or helping somebody on a call, that might not be the right time to do it. But again, like I said, if they're at a convenience store getting a cup of coffee or something like that, to walk up to them in that kind of an environment, it's not a big deal.
Golden rule.
Yes.
Golden rule. Back to this talk on Wednesday for first responders who are watching, for their families who would like to reserve a spot. How can they do it?
The best thing to turn around and do is go ahead and go to the Omaha Police website and look up the information on Dr. Gil Martin, figure out how to register. I can't stress enough to bring your family. If you've got a spouse, bring them along, because it's going to be really, really beneficial for them to kind of understand what it is first responders go through, and it may answer some questions for them.
Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you very much.
Good information.